today I'm going to show you how to crochet a super simple, easy belt. You can also use this pattern in any project where you might need a border. It's a wonderful little accent, but I thought what better way to use up some extra yarn. Maybe you only have one ball of something or less than one ball, and you really can't use it in much of anything, but it's just too pretty to sit on your shelf. So I took some excess yarn that I had and I created a fun belt. What I love about this project especially is that you don't need to worry about a button at the end. This is just a decorative kind of accent piece for your wardrobe. When we finish with the belt, you would just attach it by taking one end and putting it through any of these chain 5 spaces. To kind of secure it on wherever you need it as it fits you. And you've got a nice little end that really holds pretty nicely because we've got these points all around, so you can adjust it as you want, as it fits you, as you need, and it doesn't pull out super easily. And like I said, it's just sort of an accent belt, a little decorative piece for yourself. If your dress or pants or whatever already have the little belt loops, you can easily just thread this through those as well. So this pattern and this project is super versatile, and like I said, you can even use it for borders on blankets or other projects if you like the pattern. For this tutorial, I am going to use some of this pretty excess yarn. This yarn I actually got at a thrift store or a Goodwill, I can't remember. It is a Red Heart Boutique Treasure. Now it recommends a 6.5mm crochet hook. For this belt, I am going to be using a 5mm crochet hook, and you can use any size hook that you want to get the size of these overall points and the overall size of the belt that you want. I started out using a 6mm crochet hook when I was first playing with this pattern, and it just grew too quickly and it was way too loose, especially with this kind of yarn. This colorway is called Horizon, and I'm not even sure if they make this particular yarn anymore. They might have rebranded it as something else, Red Heart Unforgettable, something like that. It's similar to that. So it's kind of like a roving style yarn, which makes for a very pretty look, but you just have to be careful that you're getting the right tension, right hook for the tension for the size belt that you're looking for. You'll also need scissors and a yarn needle, and for the measurement, I recommend one of these sort of sewing measuring tapes so you can get an idea of the overall length that you need for that initial chain. Alternatively, you can always pick up one of your favorite belts, measure that, and go with that measurement. But this belt is super customizable, so play around with it. It took me 1 or 2 tries to get the size that I needed for my belt. This particular belt, I chained 163. The chain multiple for this pattern is 6 plus 1. So I chained 162 for my multiple of 6, plus 1 was 163, and all of the measurements for this belt I'll put down below in the description box. So grab some yarn, grab a hook. I recommend anywhere between a 5 and a 6mm depending on the type of yarn that you're using, and we will get started with this simple crochet belt. To start, you want a multiple of 6 plus 1, you're just going to chain a multiple of 6 plus 1. I'm just going to do a quick sample size. So I've chained 24 for my multiple of 6 plus 1 is 25. For row 1, we are just going to work a single crochet back into each stitch all the way back down that foundation chain row. For row 2, we're going to chain 1 and turn, and you're going to work a single crochet right back into that same stitch that you just chained out of, and a single crochet into the next 2 stitches. Now we're going to work a chain 5, and you're going to single crochet right back into that same stitch that you chained out of. So now we've got a little chain 5 loop. You're going to single crochet over the next 6 stitches. And we're going to work another chain 5 loop. So you work your chain 5 and you work a single crochet right back into that same stitch for a chain 5 loop. And you're going to repeat that. So you're going to single crochet over the next 6 stitches. And then work your chain 5 loop. Chain 5 and single crochet right back into that same stitch. A single crochet over the next 6. And a chain 5 loop. You're going to work that pattern all the way across. At the end, you should be ending with 3 single crochets on the end. So just work a single crochet into those last 3. I will tell you that the pattern is very flexible. So if you have 6 stitches, or really any number of stitches at the end of that second row, depending on if you want a chain 5 loop on the very end. So I only have these 3 single crochets here. I'm just going to leave that just to kind of follow this pattern. But if I had 5 or 6, I would probably work on the very last stitch a chain 5 loop, ending with that single crochet back into the same stitch. So I hope that makes sense. So while the stitch multiple is important, if you find that maybe you counted wrong or something else happened along the way, maybe you kind of accidentally didn't put 6 single crochets in between your chain 5 loops, whatever you end with at the end, you can customize it if you want that chain 5 loop on the end. If you feel like there's too many stitches at that ending of row 2. I just have 3, but I will say when I worked this one, for some reason I had 6 single crochets left after this last chain 5 loop, so I just worked a chain 5 loop into that last stitch on the end. So going into row 3, we're going to chain 1 and turn. If you have a chain 5 loop right away, so if we were over here and you had this loop here, you're going to start working right into that loop right away. So just wait for 2 seconds while the rest of us catch up to that first loop, If you're here where I am, you're going to work a single crochet right back into that same stitch and a single crochet into the next stitch. And now we have all caught up to this spot. So everybody can now chain 3, and we're going to work a half double crochet V-stitch into that chain 5 loop. So you're going to yarn over, put your hook in, work your half double crochet, chain 1, half double crochet into the same chain 5 loop, and there is your half double crochet V-stitch. We're going to chain 3, and we're going to work one more half double crochet V-stitch into that chain 5 loop, chain 1, half double crochet. So now we have 2 half double crochet V-stitches in that chain 5 loop. Those half double crochet V-stitches are separated by a chain 3. We start with a chain 3 before we start working into that chain 5 loop. We separate our V-stitches with a chain 3, and we are going to end with a chain 3. So chain 3, skip that first single crochet and work a single crochet into the very next stitch and into the next 2 stitches. So in between those chain 5 loops, in between these chain 5 loops, we have 5 single crochets. We want to work a single crochet into those middle 3. So that's what I've done here. Now we're at our next chain 5 loop. We're going to work that same pattern that we started with. So we're going to chain 3 and work a half double crochet V-stitch into that loop. Chain 1, half double crochet for that V-stitch. Chain 3 and work another half double crochet V-stitch. So half double crochet, chain 1, half double crochet, and now we end with a chain 3 and skip a single crochet and then work a single crochet into the next 3 stitches. And that is the pattern repeat. You can see how pretty those little V-stitch kind of crowns look. Into the next chain 5 space, we're going to start with a chain 3 and work our half double crochet V-stitch, chain 3, one more half double crochet V-stitch, ending with a chain 3 and skipping a single crochet and working a single crochet into the next 3. So you work that pattern all the way down, however long your belt or the edging is. I'm on my last chain 5 space, so I'm going to chain 3, work my half double crochet V-stitch, chain 3, one more half double crochet V-stitch, and now what do we do? So we're at the end. We're always going to end with our chain 3. Whoops. Chain 3. We're going to skip that first single crochet, and we've got one here on the end, so I'm just going to work a single crochet into that to finish, and you've got a really cool looking pattern. Once you're done with row 3, you can fasten off, weave in your ends, try your belt on, although I like to try it on before I fasten off, but if you're very confident on your measurements, go ahead, fasten off, and weave in your ends, try your belt on, or if you're making this as an edging, fasten off and enjoy this fun, edging. Thanks so much for watching this quick belt tutorial. Until next time, happy crocheting everyone. Bye.